tuned in to the one and only show, bringing you entertainment stories shaken, stirred, with a little sass and a twist of lime. It's Northwest Nightcap with K-Cee Deeva, y'all. Don't miss it.
Hey, hey, welcome to another edition of Right, Princess, everybody. Shout out to Baby Girl for that awesome theme music, AC Soul. Welcome to another edition of Northwest Nightcap. I'm K-Cee Deeva. My crew is with me. We got a lot to talk about. As you know, we do this once a month, every first Thursday. We just get you caught up on all the entertainment stories, you know, as many as we can within the hour, and laugh it up. And you know, we get together. We do what, Princess?
Click our neighbor.
We click our neighbors. Cheers to you all.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers again to you, those of you watching out there. And we like to have a good time and just have some fun with all the craziness going on in the world. So we're going to dive on in because we do have a lot to cover. I hope you all are well. I hope you're staying safe. Still wear your mask because we still have a long way to go. So I just got to throw that out there. All right. First but not first, ladies first, of course. I'm going to introduce one of my co-hosts, Miss Princess Robin. I feel like we need some kind of fanfare when, you know, when I say Princess Robin. Yes, I like it. Round of applause. All right, next to her, all nice and cozy, is her hubby, the one, the only, Mr. Kurt K-Cee Clayton.
I'm very glad to be here. Very glad.
And I forgot to mention, Princess is also the host of Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars, a relationship guru, if you will. And my homegirl, of course, and her show comes. Well, we'll have her give all her show stuff a little bit later on, where you can catch the show all about relationships. They have some real interesting topics. And she also hosts a new segment on this show called From the Heart. And we've got a doozy for you tonight. So look forward to that. K-Cee is the musical director for the legendary band Confunction, and also he does a segment called K-Cee's Corner, where if you're looking to get into the entertainment business, or you're in the entertainment business and want to keep up with all things going on in entertainment, he's going to hook you up with that a little bit later on the show. And last but certainly not least, my homie, my BFF, Mr. Anthony Adams. Anthony joining me. Anthony also the co-host of Afterthoughts, 90 Day Fiance, WTF moment. If you're a 90 Day Fiance fan, we watch all the shows and we talk about it.
And you don't want to miss the Sunday show. This coming Monday's Afterthought show, because I'm sure we got a lot to say. Yes,
there's gonna be a lot going on. And Anthony has a segment called Kicking It with Ant, and we'll get to that a little later as well, where he's gonna tell you all the hottest podcasts to listen to. So. All right, with that, I'm just going to pop a comment up here. AC Soul says, wear a damn mask to my opening, saying, yes, I agree.
I wear two of them.
That's right.
Exactly.
And a face shield.
And get your damn shots.
And with gloves. Okay, we got it all covered. All body parts covered, pretty much. All right, let's dive on into our first story. Oh, so many to choose from. Which one should I lead with? How about Halle Berry? So this was actually a couple weeks ago. So, you know, Halle Berry, she's got 2 kids actually now. And one by her ex, Gabriel Aubrey, and then one by Oliver Martinez. Did you guys see that movie Unfaithful? He was the actor in that, right?
Yes.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was in that. And one of Halle's exes as well. So Halle has been paying her ex Gabriel $16,000 a month in child support. She's 54 now, and you know, her daughter's 12. And she basically says she feels like she's getting robbed. She says the system is broken. She feels like people, men and women, have been taken advantage of with the way the system is. And she said, you know, it takes her great strength every day when she has to write that check every month. So she has to write that check. Some might say, her salary, her net worth ranges between 80 and 90 million, according to pop culture here. I don't know. Some might say, well, that's nothing. 16 grand a month, you can afford it. There's also kind of the reversal, because usually we hear more about the guys having to shell out, a lot of money and such. She basically feels that she's being taken advantage of. She thinks the laws need to change. She's saying that the money she's spending, she knows is not just going for the kids. These guys are still maintaining their somewhat lavish lifestyle, and that's what makes her angriest the most. So, K-Cee, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think, here's a woman who's worth 80 to 90 mil, 16 grand a month in child support. Do you think do you think it's unfair?
Yes and no, because once again, as you said earlier, when it's a man that's having to pay it out, nobody says, anything about it, because, it's justified, and, and she's the mother, and this. But at the end of the day, you're co-parenting. And now $16,000 a month, I don't think any child is doing $16,000 a month worth of childcare, But at the same time, they do kind of do it, based upon your wages and stuff like that. But when you see like all these, men that makes ball players or whatever, that makes millions, and they're paying, $50,000 a month, and most of the time you hear girls, yeah, girl, go get your money, get that money, get that paper, and all that kind of stuff. So I understand, it's easy for her to say, the system is broken, but it's easy to scream that when it finally hits home. When was the system broken, before she had to pay that? Where was she, if she was feeling that way, was she feeling that way before she got into this situation? Because men have been screaming that forever. And a lot of times, and it is unfair. And a lot of times, men would feel all this money is not going toward my child, because they'll be paying our child support. It's like, okay, why is that my daughter's hair is not done? Or my son's the same old sneaks. But at the same time, you got a new hairdo, you got new nails, you got all this. So is the child support really going toward my child, or is it going toward you? But so it's kind of a double-edged sword to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a little bit of a double-edged sword. I mean, I kind of agree with her though. The 16 grand a month. Do you really need 16 grand a month? For just the child? I highly doubt it. Princess, what do you think?
This is an interesting. I feel like we have kind of talked about this in the past, and I have a different perspective because I'm a twice divorced mom. And with kids, and we've talked about child support, and I've never collected child support, because if I'm truly co-parenting with my children's other parent, we're both contributing, and I don't expect to be supported by my ex. I think we're both responsible for taking care of our children. And so, there, I think in scenarios where that is not happening, the system has to jump in and all that. I get that. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying it's bad and it's wrong, but I do that. And I think a lot of times men get the short end of the stick. And in this case, it's her, because she's the higher wage earner. But I don't think that the parents are always concerned so much with taking care of the children with that money. I think that it's, you have to be a good steward of those resources. And if you're being a good steward, what do you need the 16,000 for? And if she's, I don't know what their co-parenting situation is, but if you're just kicking out the money and you're not present at all, that's a different scenario. But if you are really co-parenting. You're both involved.
Well, now I will say, from what I've seen, she's very involved. I honestly, I didn't know she had a son. I thought she just had the daughter, but I guess she had a son with Oliver Martinez, who's 7. I wasn't aware of that. I know she's. I've seen a lot of pictures and events and things over the years, with her daughter. The son, no idea. And it didn't say what she was paying, or if she's even paying Oliver. Maybe it's reversed. I don't know who's got more money.
That's the thing. Who's the custodial parent?
Is he the primary caregiver? Because it seemed like that's the reason why he's getting.
That's why. Yeah, because Gabriel's the primary caregiver for. I forget the little girl's name. Nala, I think her name is.
Then that's kind of a different take on it, because if he's the one doing the day-to-day, care, because of course she has her career, she's entitled to her career.
Right.
He's the one that's basically having to take her to school, and and of course she's probably doing private schools and all these type of situations.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff kind of adds up.
Now, what I could see is a situation where there's a trust. Like if you're putting money in trust.
Oh yeah.
The child, so that when they're on their own, they still benefit from said resources. But you have to question who's really benefiting from that paycheck.
I don't know, Anthony. What are your thoughts on this? In her words, she used the word extortion.
She did.
So
extortion.
Do you think it's extortion?
Here's I got one word. One word. See if I'm in that situation, here's what I'm demanding: a receipt. I want to see everything that 16 grand is going towards. And if it's not going anything, I need to see a receipt. Well, it's like I'm saying, if she's sitting there screaming, she feels like this is extortion. Well, then I want to see where all this money is going towards. Like,
I don't think every little thing. I think that's a little bit much. Like that's kind of micromanaging.
Well, it goes back to what K-Cee just said. How is it? My child's hair is not done, but you got a new hairstyle. My child wearing the same rundown shoes, but you got the latest, pumps when they come out. I'm just saying, I just want to see a receipt of where all this money is going, making sure that you're spending it properly, because you do have some people that will, like they say, take advantage of that child support and not really take advantage. You put it towards the child and they'll put it towards themselves. And, and it's just not, and that's why I say, a trust where you put money, each of you put money into a bank account for the child. And then what you two will do is you'll say, hey, this weekend, I want to take the kids to the theme park. Is that okay with you if I take some money out of the account? Okay, that works. Okay, hey, I need to take the kids school shopping. I'm gonna take this much money out of the account. But as long as you're putting money in, I've always felt that that's how it should be. You should get a bank account for the child, and each of you put money in there, and then that way where the money is being spent to, and the other one has to sign off on you withdrawing the money.
Yeah, but see that's where it gets tricky for me.
That's just me, though.
First of all, like you can't be micromanaging me. If I gotta go get gas, I'm not gonna call you and be like, "Yo, I need to put some gas in the car. Can I get some money out?" I'm gonna just go do it. You know what I mean? So that's where it can get kind of tricky.
One thing, yeah.
K-Cee, you were gonna say something?
It gets tricky because once again, it just goes back to how much involvement both parents have in the child's life. Now, if it's an 80-20 situation, then the is justifiable. If it's a 50-50 situation, then it needs to be reevaluated. Because, and I gotta admit, I've kind of been in that situation, myself, where there have been times, our daughter's been with us many times, but at the same time, still doing, paying a lot. But at the same time, my thing is, my child is my child, do what you gotta do. But yet, is the system broken? Yes. But the only reason why it's getting so much news right now is because it's a female on the other side of the spectrum. That's it. But men have been screaming this for years, and it's like it doesn't matter, And even then, you have a lot of fathers that are doing everything they can for their child, but it doesn't matter because a lot of the system doesn't care. They just look. There's a judgment. This is what it is. Move on. Next case.
All right, I feel you. Well, good luck with that, Halle. 16 grand a month. Yeah, a little bit of change. Maybe do like Anthony said. If he's wearing Versace and whatever, and the kids got holes in their shoes, then you might want to check that out. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to something a little more spicy and interesting. Princess and her segment From the Heart. Princess, what do you have for us today?
Girl. Okay. So, I don't know how many of
Hold
you.
on.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right. Because this is juicy.
This is juicy.
I don't know how many of y'all watch Real Housewives of Atlanta. I watch it. It's nice, mindless entertainment for me. But you've probably heard something about recent bachelorette or an episode that recently aired, a bachelorette party for one of the cast members, Cynthia. And it was thrown by, Candy, who Candy has, her dungeon sex show that she does, candy coated nights, her sex toys, it's kind of an industry for her. So she threw a very kinky bachelorette party on a girls trip, mind you. It's a girls trip. So all the ladies went out of town and brought the stripper, and they had the very risque lingerie, quite racy, even masks and some, accessories. We'll just put it
accessories, okay. Toys and stuff.
Yes, toys and drinks were free flowing.
Why K-Cee swallow so hard?
A handsome stripper who was rumored to be well endowed. Right?
Very handsome. Mm-hmm.
Well endowed. Thank you. Here's where pay attention now. So now there were varying degrees of the women who were there have varying degrees of, attachment to a mate. From married, happily married, to married with issues, to divorcing, to engaged, to, completely single. So there was a wide array of what, their scenarios were. However, here's my question. So now it got a little big buck wild up in there.
Oh.
People were, to the point where cameras were shut off. We kind of went underground with it, and there were rumored to, and some actually we did see online, on camera. Some of the, there was a lot of physical engagement, even between some of the women. And, there's the stripper that comes in, but then the stripper ends up spending the night. And there was rumored to be some sexual activity with the stripper. And, everybody's trying to sort it out. Stripper goes the night, right? And the next morning, everybody's kind of just talking it over. And so here's my question, because there was talk about, like, what are we going to tell my significant? I'm going to tell my significant other that I touched him, or he, or like, how much of this? First of all, are all bets off? Does anything go when we're on a girls' trip and there's a party? And if so, if not, why not? If so, then what should you do about telling your mate or not? Is it all secret? Is it, well, it was a girls' trip, it was bachelorette party, so what do you think was going to happen? And here's why I wanted to talk about this tonight, is because, first of all, is that just a free pass? And this goes both ways, because for me, I put myself in the shoes of, what would I feel like if my spouse, boyfriend, significant other, whoever was in that position at a bachelor
I know how she would
party.
feel. I'd be like this.
You respond very careful about what he said. What are the rules around this? What are the expectations?
Right. I'm gonna let Anthony. Anthony, you answer that first. So
What, me?
Yeah, what are the rules around that?
Well, let me just say,
to tell or not to tell?
Well, it's gonna be hard for them specifically not to tell, because cameras followed them. and it's gonna air 8
But
months
they
later.
covered up the cameras. They
It
covered up
don't
the
matter.
cameras.
That's what makes it worse. You covered up the camera. Not only that, but you do these confessional interviews where you talk about, well, he stayed the night and everything, and they show him probably leave the next morning.
They,
Oh my goodness! You know what? If that was the case in that particular situation, I would have been like, look, cut the cameras off. You know, all right, look, this is where y'all the 7 o'clock cameras. You guys got to go, y'all, because we gonna have some fun up in here. We don't want nobody seeing it. You know, as many bachelor parties I've been to, which has only been 2. And only one of them was out of town. I mean, it was in Vegas. So, of course, what happened in Vegas stays in Vegas. But at the same time, I mean...
You can tell us. We want to know what happened in Vegas, Anthony.
Just between friends.
We went and saw
Just
Blue
between
Man.
friends. Just between us.
Honestly, it was like 5 guys.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Leave yourself.
We went and saw this really amazing, exciting show. And it involved confetti and good music. And the 3 guys were all painted blue. It's called the Blue Man Group. We saw them. That's we did that bachelor party. I mean, but the rules. But the rules are this. It's like, look, I guess you know what happens on the trip stays on the trip. But at the same time, it's like make sure you don't do anything to find yourself in a compromising position to where it's like you're gonna wake up with shamefulness, and then you're gonna be sitting there biting your nails on the way home, going, what do I do? What do I do? Just, you know, I mean, I guess the rule is if you wouldn't be okay with your significant other doing it, I guess don't do it. That would be the rule. I mean, it's easy for us to say we're doing.
K-Cee, what do you think? Would you tell or do you not tell?
Whatever.
Anthony talking around and he don't want to answer the question.
First of all,
take it to the grave. How about that? Yeah, I said it. Take it to the grave.
First of all, you have to live with your own conscience first. So you know what you will and will not do. And I think we've said this on other shows. We've said it on Travel Guide. Don't blame nothing on the alcohol. Don't blame nothing on it. It was just, you know, and it just happened. Like, no, nothing just happened. Nothing happens unless you allow it to happen.
Right.
So for the ones that's single, yeah, you're single, you're allowed to do whatever. For the ones that are in any type of relationship, if you're truly in that relationship, then be in that relationship. If you're not, you know, and if you're trying to justify why you're doing certain things, then guess what? It didn't matter if it was that stripper or somebody you meet when you get back home. That's where your mind is at. That's what you're going to do.
Right.
So I think, once again, you know, what's in you is in you. Alcohol and opportunities are just excuses to do what you're intending to do.
I like it. I like it.
What do you
think? Go ahead, Princess.
What do you think?
I was getting to that. You know, I saw the show. I saw the footage, and first of all, y'all too old to be pulling all that. Now these women are in their damn late 40s. I think a couple in your early 50s or something like that. Yeah. I think 1 or 2 might be a little bit younger in the 30s or whatever. It's still. The nonsense that went on, it's the bachelor party, and okay, fine, you know, you want to be a little freaky because Candy's known for her dungeon freaky thing, whatever she does. Okay, fine, have some fun with it. In my personal opinion, they just took it way too far, you know, with each other, with the stripper. You know, he shouldn't spend the night because you're just putting yourself in a possibly compromising situation. You got a bunch of alcohol flowing. You know, you're not thinking in your right state of mind, you know, and what are you going to do? You're going to blame it on the alcohol. And that, you know, now, to tell or not to tell, I think before you go, if you're married or in a relationship, I think you need to have the conversation. Like, look, okay, going to this bachelorette thing, going to the bachelor thing, whatever, probably going to be a stripper there, you know, you know, just make sure your mate's okay with that. Because some people get all up and, you know, me personally, whatever, go do you, have fun. Don't touch. Don't be getting crazy. But, you know, hang out with the guys, do what you got to do. Yes, Anthony?
No, I was just saying my hands are right here. My hands are right here.
Oh, right. Keep your hands to yourself. And we're all good. You know? But right. Or you're going to be, you know, you can be like this,
me and K-Cee,
or you can be like this.
Me and K-Cee gonna have them little Bibles in our hands like this, them little pocket Bibles.
But have fun, live a little, whatever, but just don't get too crazy. Some people just don't know how to take it over the top. We know with this group of women, it's Atlanta Housewives. They always go over the top. They speculate. And then there's Kenya who likes to speculate. There was no real proof that anything happened. It was kind of left to your own imagination. And there were a couple scenes that people were
two girls. We did see two girls making out.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yes, you did see two of the girls making out. So we know some journalists happened, but
I wasn't doing it. I thought you were trying to clink your neighbor like we always do.
Oh, I thought you were clinking. I was like, I'm just gonna drink.
I got my signals crossed. I'm sorry.
Let's move on before K-Cee gets in trouble.
Thank you.
All right. I got you. All right. Thank you, Princess. She'll be back next month with another From the Heart. We will all have some fun with. Okay. Let's talk about some new shows coming out. There's a lot of reboots coming out. Let's talk about some of these reboots because some I think cool and some I'm not so sure about.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a whole list, but I'm just picking out a few. Have you guys seen so they've done this one with a few different people. I think Kiefer Sutherland was one, The Equalizer. Queen Latifah is the new Equalizer. I love the show.
Very good.
I like it.
Yeah, I think she's doing I have to admit, I was a little sketch. I thought, okay, here we go. They're just trying to, all of a sudden now they're putting black faces all over everything, right? Which is wonderful for Black Hollywood. But I'm like, is it going to be any good? And I really like it. I think she's done a really good job. They're going to do a remake of American Gigolo. Now, have you
already did that.
Well,
it was called Bruce Bigelow Male Gigolo with Rob Schneider. They've already done that.
Well, American Gigolo, Showtime, Richard Gere, Lauren Hutton were the originals.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1980, and now it's John Bernthal. Do I know who that is? I don't know who that is. And Gretchen Moore.
Into the first one, so I ain't gonna be into this one.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, let's see. Sex and the City. Now, Sex and the City was my show. I love. Yes, all the seasons. I love the movies. They're gonna revive Sex and the City on HBO Max, but Samantha's not gonna be there. Now, that's she's. I mean, all four of them are really important parts. Like I can't imagine Sex and the City without one of them. What do you think, Princess?
I think they're probably going to have to come up with some kind of different character to bring that element. You know what I mean? I love that show too, Diva. But what works with it is they're different characters, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Without Samantha's character, I think it will be. It's not the same. So
yeah.
K-Cee owes everybody a drink too for his phone going off.
I'm sorry.
That was one of his friends agreeing with us that it's not gonna be the same without control. Yeah. They said Mr. Big might possibly come back as well. So that should be interesting. That'll be interesting.
Well, I was gonna say, weren't her and Mr. Big married?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got married. And then now they're in their 50s. So that's what the show premise is going to be. They're in their 50s. So that it'll be interesting. I'm excited. I'll still watch it, but it will be interesting without Samantha.
Yeah.
Let's see. They're bringing back the Proud Family.
Yes.
Cartoon.
Excited for that.
Kyla Pratt, she's still she's a teen, Penny Proud, and Keke Palmer, I guess, is joining as a new character.
That'll be interesting.
I'm not a real fan of hers, but we'll see. Punky Brewster, did you all used to watch that?
Nah, I just missed Punky, but I did see the reboot. And real quick, Diva, to answer your question, John Bernthal, if you ever watched The Walking Dead, he was Shane on The Walking Dead, and he's also he's also the Punisher too. So if you're watching The Punisher on Netflix, he's that guy.
I don't watch that either. But
But
yeah.
looking at him, I could actually see he looks kind of like a young Richard Gere, so I can see him in that role. Yeah, I can see him in that role.
Okay. Clueless. So they're doing a reboot of Clueless. Remember that movie?
I love the movie Clueless, and I even used to watch the TV show, but without Brittany Murphy, it's just not the same.
Yeah. Oh, she died.
Yeah, you can't do it without Brittany Murphy. I'm sorry. I mean, no, you can't do it without her. No. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so they're rebooting. It doesn't say who's gonna be in it. I guess they're still working on it. Wait a minute. Did you know that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yes, I heard about this.
I just
A reboot
article.
Well, okay, so what it is this actually started from a viral video that a fan had made. He made like this like dramatic trailer of like this dramatic retelling if the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was a drama instead of a sitcom. And it got so much traction that Will Smith himself co-signed it. And so now I guess Peacock has picked it up and they said, we're going to make this an actual dramedy. Well, it's not a dramedy, but a drama. So if you get a chance to watch that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air drama trailer, the reboot, the fan-made trailer, that's what it's like. So I guess,
YouTube, Anthony? Where did you see it?
It was on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on YouTube.
I'll have to check it out. I didn't know that until I read this article.
Yeah.
I don't know, as a drama. We'll see.
It's actually from the trailer, from what I saw, not to give out too much of it away.
Yeah.
Will gets caught at the park where he gets into a fight and he gets caught with like a gun in his backpack. So his mom is like, it's time for me to send you out here to Bel-Air. And it's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Walker, Texas Ranger. I used to love that show. Chuck Norris. But they're rebooting that. I can't see anybody but Chuck Norris watching that.
Chuck Norris was 86 years old when he filmed it then, and he had one good kick every show.
What good kick? You're harsh, K-Cee.
I want to roll.
Did you guys watch True Blood? Anybody watch True Blood?
I did.
Vampires, if you're into vampires, it was on HBO. Now it's gonna be on HBO Max, and they're rebooting that.
Really?
So that'd be interesting. And yeah, those are the ones were of course they revived Saved by the Bell. I wasn't a huge Saved by the Bell fan. I know Anthony, you were. You guys watch? See, were you?
I like Saved by the Bell. And God rest his soul, because Screech just passed. You know.
Yeah. I probably won't watch that. But anyway. Just some interesting reboots. We'll have to see how they go. Let's see what AC Soul says. Saved by the Bell. Oh, okay. The reboot actually decent.
It is actually decent. Yeah, they deal with like a lot of like today's social issues too on the show. So it's really good. Yeah, it's actually better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay. All right. Let's jump into K-Cee's corner. K-Cee, what do you got for us today? What's up?
So real quick, last time we talked about difference between contracts and agreements. This time we want to talk about ownership. This is something that confuses a lot of new artists and a lot of old artists, because the real money in the industry is not, in my opinion, is not in being an artist. It's the songwriters. Because at the end of the day, Whitney Houston was an incredible singer, but she never wrote one song.
I didn't know that. I just assumed she wrote some of her songs.
No, she never wrote any songs. So although she made money from performance royalties, the writers of those songs made 10 times more than she would ever make. Because keep in mind, let me give you the great example. Just like everyone knows Whitney Houston's version of I'll Always Love You. A lot of people know that the song was actually written by Dolly Parton. Right? Now,
I did not know that.
It's on a commercial now. So I mean, from back in the day.
Because actually Dolly Parton, she sang it like 30 years before Whitney Houston, because there's a movie called Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Okay, I remember that.
Right, and she sung it in that movie. But fast forward 30 years later, the Bodyguard comes out and they decide to use that song, in the movie. So, of course, the producers, of the song decided they're going to reach out to Dolly Parton to get permission. Of course, Dolly is yes, because once again, when you own the song, that's the gift that keeps on giving.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter how many times Whitney sung the song, Dolly always gets a check. Now,
Nice.
here's how it's the gift that keeps on giving. The Voice, American Idol, America's Got Talent. Every time you hear these, and everybody is very familiar with Whitney Houston's version of the song, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when all these amateurs or all these young singers sing the song on all these various talent shows, Whitney does not get paid because she does not own the song. The song has to be cleared by the writer and the publisher.
Mm-hmm.
This is one other thing that a lot of people don't understand. If you write a song, K-Cee Deeva, if you write a song right now, you are the writer of the song, and until you negotiate anything different, you are also the publisher of the song. So you get two checks. You get a check. You get a writer's check. And this is how record companies make their money. They make their money off the publishing. A song can never be written by Sony Music. It can never be written by Warner Brothers. It can never be written by Motown. It can be published by them, but it has to be written by an actual person. Got it? So, and this is one thing that Sam Cooke and James Brown and they were trying to teach a lot of the Black artists of their era about ownership. You need to start owning your own song, because a lot of times the record companies kept artists ignorant to the side, because once again, I always say it's nothing personal, it's business. So ignorant to the writers, to the writer side and the publisher side, and they would just kind of spoon feed them the money that they felt that they just needed. So, but we're in a new era, and now it's more important than ever that you understand how the revenue flows and how the royalties flow. So if you write a song, you don't necessarily have to sing it. You can go on tomorrow and pitch it to Beyonce, and guess what? You're going to get two checks if you register yourself as a writer and a publisher. You get two, and basically what happens is if the song makes $100,000, it's money in half. Half of it goes to the writers of the song, half of it goes to the publishers of the song.
Wow.
So
what does the artist get? The person that sung it?
The artist gets what's called a performance royalty.
Ah, okay.
A performance royalty. But they only get that performance royalty if people are buying their version of the performance. So once again, if someone Whitney version of I'll Always Love You on American Idol, Whitney Houston doesn't get anything, because Whitney Houston at that time is not performing it. Somebody a rendition. But Dolly Parton, who wrote the song, is because they're using her song and they're having to clear her song, and she has to give them authorization to sing that song. So every time you see all these songs, and that's why on most of these talent shows on TV, there are certain songs that you will always hear because they always get cleared.
Okay.
So once again, writing and publishing, those are the two main ways to be successful. And once again, I'm just going to give you one name, Diane Warren. Diane Warren is probably one of the most successful writers of our era. She at 1 year at the Grammys, Diane Warren had 4 songs. There was 3 or 4 songs. I want to say 4 songs. She was nominated for a Song of the Year. 4 of the songs that was in that category were her songs.
Wow.
Titanic, that was sung by Celine Dion.
Yeah.
She wrote Unbreak My Heart.
Yep.
She wrote the song by Aerosmith. Don't want to close my eyes.
From Armageddon. Don't want to miss a thing.
She wrote that.
If you look up Diane Warren, she has more #1 hits and more accolades. And she has never sung a song in her life. She's written for Beyonce, Monica, and Diane Warren.
Well,
Wow.
can I?
So
Can I
that's how like people like Candy. I know when I do watch the click your
Mhm.
never. That was some good info.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? So I know they always talk about Candy is like supposedly super rich because she's written a bunch of songs that nobody knew. I didn't know she was a writer.
Candy wrote songs for Mariah Carey and a whole lot.
What's the biggest song Candy wrote though? Y'all know it too.
TLC.
There you go. TLC, no scrubs.
No
She wrote no
Scrubs.
scrubs for TLC.
And
You know what?
That's how she built her empire.
Yeah.
For royalties.
And one thing to add on to that, one thing I've learned is that a lot of these artists that are like one-hit wonders, they're one-hit wonders, but they're making bank off their songwriting. For example, I forget the guy. I think his name is Robbie Neville. He had the song "C'est La Vie" in the '80s, right? Yeah. He's a one-hit wonder. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, soulful R&B song, right? Sung by, yeah. So here's the thing about him is that he is a one-hit wonder, but he's written songs for Destiny's Child, and on top of that, he is the king of all the Disney original movies. He wrote for all 3 High School Musicals. Yeah. He's written for pretty much any Disney movie that's come out. So he's collected money off of that. And then one other person, Neo could basically retire right now if he wanted to, because the biggest song he wrote is arguably Beyonce's most notable song, which is Irreplaceable.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna give you one other.
Neo wrote that, yeah. Yeah, he wrote that.
Because years ago, there was a group called Full Force. Everybody remember?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Now,
love me some Full Force.
They did it. Where are they now? Right?
Yeah,
like, hey, this is Lou, and his brother. Yeah. Wonder where are we now? They're like, don't worry about us. We're okay.
Yep.
Full Force were the songwriters behind Britney Spears, NSYNC, and the Backstreet Boys.
Yep.
All the hits.
What?
Yep. All I Have to Give by the Backstreet Boys, that was written by Full Force. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They were writing.
Yeah.
Yes. Britney Spears.
Wow.
Spears, Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC. Mm-hmm.
If you listen to the song "All I Have to Give" by the Backstreet Boys, it sounds like a Full Force song. Like literally, you can picture Full Force actually singing it. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was some good info, K-Cee. Click your neighbor on that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a round of applause.
Yeah, because I didn't know that all those people that, I didn't know that like Neo and all those people wrote songs. That's interesting. Okay, speaking of songs, and so last time we talked about Bow Wow, and y'all remember he's supposed to be writing some songs about his exes and whatnot. He decided now that he wants to be a WWE wrestler. That's the new thing on this document. So, and he's already like trying to start beefs on Twitter, with wrestlers here and there. He's not even through the training yet. Like he hasn't even started the training. And I guess a wrestler named Anthony, you might be familiar with Rikishi.
Rikishi, yes.
Rikishi is his mentor, supposed to be training him and all. Anyway, Bow Wow, what did you say, K-Cee, before when I said he's gonna sit down somewhere?
He goes sit down somewhere.
He's trying too hard. It's like, dude,
he needs to just try to do another season of Masked Singer.
Wait, that's my show, by the way. Don't play. Masked Singers, I love that show.
Like, no, just tell him to get on Masked Dancer now. He'll be on.
What Masked Dancer?
You better
Masked Dancer. I couldn't really get into that one. I like Masked Singer. Masked Dancer is a little corny to me. I'm like, okay, y'all are reaching now.
I was gonna say he better hope BET Plus can develop an original show for him or something like that.
Something. Okay.
Yeah.
One story I actually forgot. I want to talk about this with the movies. So you all saw the movie Players Club, Ice-T, Lisa Ray, and so on. So that's another one. There's been discussion about rebooting, and there's been some talk online about who should play Diamond, which was Lisa Ray's character. So Drea Michelle, she was on Basketball
Wives, yeah.
And then Jocelyn Hernandez came up, who was on Love and Hip Hop. If you're familiar with her. the Puerto Rican princess.
Yeah.
Stevie
She, well, they're both former strippers, so they both are, like throwing their hat in the ring, like, hey, I can play it. Now, the way to describe it, Princess Jocelyn she's a little bit more, I'll say masculine energy. Like, she's in your face, booty popping, she's there. She's out there. Drea Michelle, she's a little, she's kind of got that sweet, innocent face, but she's mischievous at the same time, right? Okay. So
that's the one my mom always warned me about too.
Right. Exactly. So there's been some back and forth back online. Who should play Diamond? Jocelyn feels like she can play it. Drea feels like, she can play it. Lisa Ray actually said if she had to pick one or the other, Jocelyn was more the Ronnie character. Remember Ronnie? She was
the bad guy.
Nemesis. And Drea with Lisa Marie's character, Diamond. I agree with that. Yeah. I think if it's gonna be those two, I think that's how it should go. But then I was like, who else could I see? Like, either a no-name person, which that came up as well. Like somebody, Lisa was a no-name. Nobody knew who she was until that movie. Or is there somebody else? Princess, anybody pop in your head that could play that character, Diamond?
I'm drawing a blank. When you said Drea, though, I was like, I do know who she is, and I thought, okay, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank on any other ideas, and I don't.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody else. K-Cee?
I think once again, everybody's out for a money grab, but right now, you have basically a new players club out right now, which is P Valley.
That's right, P Valley, yes.
So basically, that's kind of like a series, a player club type of series. So
right.
And if you want, you just grab one of the ones off there. Although I don't, that's
true.
It's easier for a new talent, just like with Lisa Ray that launched her career.
Right.
And there's no expectation, because if you try to take one of these people already out here that people kind of know of them, but then they say, because they're not actors, and you try to have a real actress in here. So
no, I agree. Anthony, thoughts? Drea, somebody else?
I will say this: I thought it was hilarious with Drea's comeback when everybody was coming for her online. She said, I could play myself in a movie about my life, and you guys would still hate it and everything. I thought that was hilarious.
She did.
I think it would be good for like either a no name. The only two women that are coming to mind right now, for some reason, I don't know why, but Kat Graham from the Vampire Diaries, who was Bonnie, and then Candace Patton, who is on The Flash, who plays Iris West.
Bonnie, she played the witch.
Yeah.
No, come on, no.
Those are the only two that just come to mind, because they're still young and everything. Because if you remember, she was young in the movie. She was young in the movie, so like those ones I can think of. Other than that, make it a no name.
Yeah, I agree. I think give somebody new a chance. There's a lot of like up and coming actresses that might want to, kickstart their carear, and I don't know. It'd be interesting. It'd be
how about you don't do it at all? Just leave that movie alone.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's how I feel honestly about a lot of the reboots or remakes. Leave well enough alone. All right, Anthony, it's your turn. Kicking in with it. What's in the podcast?
All right. So first of all, actually, before I get into the podcast, I wanted to address there is one reboot that I got a chance to check out today. If you were a fan of the original Real World, they did a Real World Homecoming, and so all 7 of them are back together. And it's interesting because it's like they're talking about what they're into, what they're doing now, but also like the issues of today and how that show was a trendsetter. So
is Tammy on there?
No, Tammy wasn't on this season. She was on like the 2nd or 3rd season.
Oh,
yeah. Heather B is on there, and Kevin Powell is on there. Kevin Powell. Powell. Yeah, he's on there. Yeah,
Kevin Powell. Okay.
Okay, so for this month, for the podcast, we're going to dive into a very popular topic in podcasts, and that is true crime. A lot of people love true crime podcasts.
I
So,
do.
Yep. All right.
Yep, Princess, that's her
Into
jingle.
that, yeah. All right.
Because your recommendations last
Did you
time
see
were
it? Okay.
bomb.
I missed the cue that time. I didn't know we was clinking that time.
I know. All right. So let me pull up my notes here. Okay, so the first one I'm going to recommend everybody check out is Monster Presents the DC Sniper. Now, this is like a Dateline episode, but an audio documentary. And this hits close to home for me because I remember when this happened. I was 16 years old, sophomore in high school. And this is like when I really started paying attention to like current events in the news because I was following it every day. And so that's one I definitely recommend everybody check out. Another one, Confronting O.J. Simpson with Kim Goldman. This is Kim Goldman. She interviews everybody from jury. Yeah, she interviews her dad. She interviews jury members. She's interviewed Marsha Clark, Kato Kalin. She actually, at one point, her attorney, who is also the co-host of this show, also scores a very confrontational interview with O.J. Simpson's current attorney, trying to see if they can get O.J. on the show. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yes, that one is really good. Another one I'm going to recommend for you guys. This one is called Death of a Starlet. This is the story of Dorothy Stratton, who was a Playboy model who was killed by her jealous ex-lover, her jealous ex-boyfriend, ex-husband. It's a very good documentary. It's like a 2-person show where they each take turns telling the story from each other's perspective. So like the woman will tell the story from Dorothy's perspective, and the guy comes on, he tells it from the ex-husband's perspective. And last but not least, the true crime I'm going to give you. I love this one. This is called True Crime Obsessed. It's a guy and a girl. They host it. And basically what it is they recap all these true crime documentaries that are out, and they give like their commentary. So it's kind of like what we do with this show right now. And they add their 2 cents in, and it's hilarious. It's essentially like it's like talking about a crime documentary with your best girlfriend and your gay best friend, and you just laugh and talk, and you start pausing because you start talking back to the podcast yourself. So you start adding your own 2 cents. So it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good.
Well, perfect. Thanks, Ann. So yeah, kicking in with Ann podcast. I'm definitely gonna check out that O.J. Simpson one. That whole case fascinates me. I mean, there were just so many loopholes, and I remember Christopher Darden. He came to town. Northwest Afternoon, before they went off the air, I went to see him. My mom and I went down. My mom was like obsessed with the case. Like she was just like obsessed with the case. We went down there, had his book, had him sign the book, and everything. And it's to this day, it's still interesting. Because there's always something different popping up. Huh?
He's innocent.
Whatever. Read it. I get it.
Was your mom, K-Cee, let me ask you a question. Was your mom a Johnny Cochran or a Chris Darden woman?
Ooh.
Johnny. But she didn't like Johnny Cochran because he was defending OJ.
Johnny was smooth with it though.
Johnny was a smooth macadamian.
He was smooth with it.
I ain't from my grandma had a crush on Johnny Cochran, and she couldn't stand OJ.
My mom didn't like either one like that, but she couldn't stand anybody on OJ's side. Yeah. I don't care if it's Williams, and she loved Billy D. If he was over there, she hated him.
You must have quit.
Right.
I'll tell you this right now. What's his name? Sterling K. Brown. He killed it as Chris Darden. And what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. Courtney B. Vance. He killed it as Johnny Cochran.
Yes.
And the people versus O.J. Simpson. Yeah, he killed it.
Yes. Wait, now what was the movie? The guy from Friends played the Kardashian dad. Was that the same movie?
Yeah.
The same okay, because he did I thought he did a great job in that role.
And John was what's his name? Bob Shapiro.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because there's been a few. Like I didn't like the one that Cuba Gooding Jr. did.
That's the people versus O.J. Simpson.
Is that the same one?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't like him in that role.
A lot of people didn't like Cuba in that role. A lot of people didn't like John Travolta as Bob Shapiro, but they had praises for everybody else. They said Sarah Palsy killed it as Marsha Clark, which she did. Yeah. Of course, Courtney B. Vance as Chris Darden did.
Okay, I'm getting mixed up. Yeah, so that's the. What were you saying about Cuba, K-Cee?
I just said it was very good casting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just did. I like all of them except for Cuba. I love Cuba, and I think because it was the role, I met him in person, and it's like he's just so fun and cute and bubbly, and then to see him in that role, like it was messing with my head.
His head wasn't big enough to be OJ Simpson's.
Right.
Yeah.
Big enough.
Yeah, he's way more attractive than OJ. Okay, well, we're just about out of time, but I saved just enough time because we have to put Princess on the hot seat tonight. I had forgotten about it until a couple hours before the show. So it's Princess's turn. So if you tuned in some previous shows or if you missed it, each month, we've been doing kind of a get to know you, kind of just a fun little ribbon, each one of the crew members. K-Cee was in the hot seat last week. Anthony was in the hot seat, last month. Anthony was in the hot seat month before that. I was the first one to be in the hot seat. And now it's the lovely Princess's turn. So I'm going to let her hubby go first.
Oh, no. Y'all go first, please. Y'all go first.
You want me to go first? Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies first.
Yes,
Okay,
ladies
Princess.
Oh,
Now, I know that sitting next to you is your Batman. And my question is, if he couldn't be Batman, what other superhero would you want him to be?
Oh, you know what? He has a sexy Superman t-shirt. I personally am all about Captain America, and he's got a really nice Captain America too. But the thing it does for me, like that man shirt does, is a Superman shirt. I'm going
Superman.
Does he have a cape with it too?
Right.
He has a some onesie pajamas, Superman with the cape.
The cape.
I'll send you pictures, Anthony.
Yes, I do.
He's even
Oh my goodness.
Anthony, you don't want this smoke over here. You don't want this smoke.
I tell you this.
Oh man, my cheeks hurt. Oh gosh. Okay.
Okay, it's on me. All right, here we go. All right, Princess. You're on an island. Just you and your husband. You're stuck on there for the rest of your lives. And he can only sing you one Prince song for the rest of your life. What song are you choosing besides Most Beautiful Girl in the World?
I don't even like that song, believe it or not. That's crazy, right?
I thought you were gonna say I don't even like Prince.
I love Prince. Matter of fact, thank you, Anthony, for the podcast recommendation last time. I've been listening to the Prince one. I think it would have to be. God, there's so many options. The one that's just popping in my mind is "Do Me, Baby."
Do me, baby. Yes.
Well,
Thank you, neighbor.
Thank you, neighbor.
K-Cee, I hope you K-Cee.
That I would.
I hope high notes that he's hitting in that song now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna walk over to the piano after this and play it. I
All
know
right.
it
All
will work.
right. Last but not least, Mr. K-Cee, what is your question for the lovely Princess?
Oh man,
I'm gonna be easier on it because she's my wife, so
because you don't want to sleep on the couch tonight. That's why.
that too.
AC says, go ahead, K-Cee.
Hey, don't encourage him.
Okay.
So,
Okay. What is the one thing? Oh man, I had some juicy ones. I'm not
cold hands.
Yeah, go easy on my
because I told her, I said, which one do you prefer, cold hands or cold feet? But I'm not gonna do that one. I'm not gonna do that. But outside of our family, what's the one thing that makes you smile?
The one thing that what? I missed it.
Makes her smile.
Oh, makes you smile.
outside of the family, the thing that makes me smile, I think, is, my amazing friends. I have so many, like blessings in my life that come, Diva's a great example. Having like a terrible day, or I'll wake up sad and I'll get a Marco. It'll just come out of nowhere, and I'm like, "How did you know I needed that?" And like we're getting text messages from the BFF, Quanetta. You must be watching. If you're watching, much love to you. I mean, people who are just in my life who bless me not because they have to, but because they, feel it. And I think that's really joyful. So that would be my answer to that.
There you go.
See,
that was a good, safe question, K-Cee.
I'm gonna ask the other ones off camera.
What you weren't meant to see.
The post reel.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it has been fun. I have definitely enjoyed the hour with you all. Thanks to those who are watching and those who came in a little bit late. This is recorded, so you can catch it. Be sure to catch us every first Thursday. We're here. We're talking about everything going on, all things entertainment. Before we wrap it up, Princess, we're going to catch Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars.
Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars. We're on 8 podcast platforms. We've been on hiatus, but we're coming back. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it. Wherever you get your podcasts, find us there.
Yes.
Right on. And Anthony, they'll catch us.
They will catch us next Monday when we discuss the top 5 WTF moments from 90 Day Fiance. And I can already tell you from the trailer, we got a lot to talk about. We may have to go top 10 this week.
Yo, top 10. Oh, yikes. I haven't seen the trailer yet, but I'm definitely inspired. And K-Cee, now where can we you have a movie coming out or in the works?
Yeah, actually we're wrapping up all the post-production this coming week. So we got to go back in and actually I was in the studio last night recording one of the songs for the soundtrack for it.
Right on.
And so hopefully it'll be out probably early fall.
Okay.
And I'll keep it Jasir. And it's starring Lorraine Bracco from The Sopranos and Goodfellas. Mrs. Robbins in there too.
Yes.
Doing my best acting as a cigarette smoker.
I love it.
Wait. Are you holding just a cigarette by itself, or is it like one on that long red stick?
Oh, red.
I was holding it.
She had about 30 cigarettes.
It was traumatic. I'll talk to you about it later. It was traumatic.
All right, peeps, we gotta go, but thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit me up. Go to my YouTube page, unless you're watching it on YouTube right now. Like, subscribe, K-Cee Deeva Shows. Hit me up on Facebook, K-Cee Deeva page, or Northwest Nightcap with K-Cee Deeva. Also catch my other show, Dish with Diva. That'll be back next week, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And until then, be careful, be safe, mask up, wash your hands, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Gorgeous.
Play that music.